Hi class, this is Professor Teixeira, and I'm going to talk about inventory management. These slides are based on the class notes, inventory, and materials management. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, inventory. What's inventory? Inventory can be viewed as stacks of money sitting on forklifts or on shelves and in trucks and planes while in transit. So inventory can be viewed as inventory of raw material that is going to be used for production, or we can view inventory as semi-finished products that are being processed in the manufacturing, and also as finished products, inventory of products that are ready to be sold. That's what inventory is. We say that we can see that inventory is as stacks of money because if it is raw material or if it's semi-finished products or if it's finished products, there is always money invested on these parts, on this raw material. The company has to pay to have the raw material. The company is paying salary for people and is paying machines and is paying electric energy to produce products. So if the products are in inventory, that's all the money invested by the company. So that's the reason we can view inventory as stacks of money sitting on all these different places in transportation or in storage in the company. For many businesses, inventory is the largest asset on the balance sheet at any given time. Why? Because what I said, there's so much money invested on the parts that the company purchased to produce the products, and also the salaries and everything that the company put money on to make the products. Inventory can be difficult to convert back into cash because we can see like too many stores, like all this big, let's think about Walmart. Look how many products Walmart has in each store. So many products. There's a lot of money invested on these products. So Walmart has to sell these products to get the money back. Think about General Motors, or think about Ford. They invest a lot of money to produce the cars, and then the cars go to the dealers, and then they have to sell the cars to get the money back. Sometimes can be difficult depending if the product is not what consumers want, or if there is another competitor offering better products, innovative products, and so on. It's a good idea to try to get your inventory down as far as possible. So what companies want is sell everything, reduce inventory, because then they don't have much money invested on inventory. The average cost of inventory in the United States is 30 to 35% of its value. So you see that is a lot of money. 1/3 of the value is cost of inventory in the United States. So it's a lot of money. And not only in the United States, all other countries are very similar. But it's good to have a reference from the US. Definitions: inventory, the stock of any item or resource used in a company. It includes raw materials, like I told you, finished products, component parts, supplies, and working process. Working process is like products that started to be produced, and at some point they're not finished yet. So this is semi-finished products. Manufacturing inventory refers to items that contribute to or become part of a firm's product. Inventory system is the set of policies and controls that monitor levels of inventory. So companies, they develop their own systems on how they're going to manage their inventories. This is what inventory system is. What is the whole set of policies and procedures and processes that the company is using to manage their inventory? The inventory system helps to determine what levels should be maintained, when stock should be replenished, and how large orders should be. We're going to view different inventory systems in this module, in this class. But let me talk about that later. What's the purpose of inventory? One of the purposes is to maintain independence of operations. So what companies want is, within a company, within a manufacturing process, there are many, let's say, different processes going on at the same time. And what inventory provides is enough parts for have all processes, let's say, working or producing and not stop it waiting for parts to come. Imagine that if some process doesn't have parts available, then they have to stop. Employees that are in charge for that process, they're not going to do anything. They're going to be sit there waiting for parts to come. So we want independence of operations. That's one of the purpose of having inventories within a company. That's the purpose of having a lot of inventory coming from suppliers. I like to talk about the case of microchips. Think about microchips, because we have lack of microchips. We don't have microchips for to produce cars. Then many of the automobile manufacturers are just waiting for parts to come, so they don't have this independence because they don't have the microchips. Another purpose is to meet variation in product demand. Remember, I told you sometimes we have some demand, sometimes there's a peak in demand. Sometimes people start buying our product, and we want to be able to meet this variation. We want to match this variation, this peak in demand. We want to have enough products for sale. So if we have inventory, then people can come buy and we have available parts for selling, for sales. To allow flexibility in production scheduling. This means sometimes we want to change the schedule, sometimes we want to produce some products instead of other products, and having inventory of parts available to change this schedule allows for this flexibility. Instead of producing one product, let's say a smartphone, we're going to produce a tablet. We have enough inventory to change from a smartphone to a tablet. That gives some independence of operations again. To provide a safeguard for variation in raw material delivery time. Also, what can happen is sometimes one supplier may delay the delivery for maybe many reasons. There are many reasons. We had, like, in this case, that's very present now, the war in Ukraine. Then Ukraine supplies products for other companies. Then there is a disruption in the supply chain and probably a delay in the delivery time, because if we are a company that purchased from suppliers in Ukraine, we have to find other suppliers. So this is going to cause a delay. We don't want this delay, because if delays, then maybe we don't have the parts, the raw material to keep our production running. So having a lot of inventory can help protect for this late delivery time. I was using this example of Ukraine to be very extreme in my example, but very other causes can make delivery time to get late. And then if companies don't have enough inventory to be able to deal with these delays, then they are going to run out of parts and then probably have to wait until parts come. So inventory protects for that. To take advantage of economic purchase order size, sometimes suppliers, they give discounts if companies purchase many units instead of few units. So if the order is bigger, then the suppliers sometimes give discounts, and that's taking advantage of the economic purchase, depending on the size of the order. Big orders tend to decrease the unitary cost because of these incentives that suppliers give. So that then, if the company buys too much, they're going to build inventory. Domain-specific reasons, for example, anticipation of maybe something that's going to happen, then companies buy a lot before, I don't know, the price goes up, or in transit because it's going to take too long, or any other strategic reasons. What's the inventory costs we have? We have the holding cost or the cost of carrying this inventory along the time. This involves the cost for storage. If the company buys too much raw material, they have to put in storage, or if they produce too many products, they have to put in storage to protect. They have to handle all these products and raw material. They have to have insurance and so on. This is the cost of holding inventory. Then we have the setup or production change cost. That's cost for arranging specific equipment setups. In a manufacturing company, the machines, they have to be set up. So if you carry too much inventory, then you have to include time and cost to set up equipment for the inventory that you have. For example, let's talk about a company, let's say like AGP, that has different models of laptops. If they have to carry a lot of inventory for different models of laptops, and if they keep like carrying all this inventory, it's because they have different models and they have to set up machines differently every time that they have a different model. That increase the costs to set up production. Also the ordering cost, the cost of place an order. So in order to buy products, in order to buy raw material, we are a manufacturing company buying raw material from a supplier. We have to pay purchasing personnel, salary for purchasing people, just to place orders, to contact suppliers. Hey, listen, I need an order. I need 10,000 units next week. Please send me a quote. And then the person has to call another like supplier and then see how much maybe the suppliers can reduce price or have a better delivery time or negotiate when they're going to pay. That's involve people. Then companies have to pay salary, and that's the cost of placing orders. We have to pay money just to manage the orders we're placing for our suppliers to get the raw material. And then there are shortage costs of running out. So if we run out of like raw material, we are incurring the cost of having people ready to work on the parts in the manufacturing plant. Or if we have a store and we don't have products for sale, we are losing sales. So how much we're losing by not having the product? So there are different shortage costs by not having raw material or finished products. Finally, I think that this is the last slide for this video. We have two demand types. We have independent demand. This demand is the demand for various items that are unrelated to each other. For example, a workstation may produce many parts that are unrelated but meet some external demand requirement. A workstation is a station within the manufacturing plant with people producing parts, components. So this workstation may produce these parts that are not related, but maybe is related to an external demand. And the dependent demand is the need for any one item that is a direct result of the need for some other item. So usually is a higher level item on which its part depends on other parts. That's dependent demand. So I'm going to stop this video here, and then I'll continue about the inventory models in the next video. Bye.